Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Your Health, Your Life. So, today we're going to be talking about cancer. Well, we know that cancer is one of the biggest killers worldwide and as well as in our country. A lot of people actually do have cancer. Do not be mistaken. So, what we want to talk about today is we're going to talk about 5 main ways in which you can reduce your chances of actually having cancer at some point in your life. All right. So, the first one that we're going to look at is tobacco smoking. Tobacco smoking is well known to precipitate cancer. And one of the cancers that is commonly caused by tobacco smoking is actually lung cancer. So most of us associate lung cancer with tobacco smoking, which is very good. But studies have shown that actually stopping smoking significantly reduces your chance or your risk of having cancer. Now you may wonder, how exactly does tobacco smoking predispose you to cancer? Well, it's because tobacco also contains carcinogens. Amongst these carcinogens, we have chemicals like amines, we have hydrocarbons, okay? We have oximes, we also have things like aldehydes and benzenes. So all these are going to contribute to make you have lung cancer and other forms of cancer. Other forms of cancer that can come about because of tobacco smoking include liver cancer, prostate cancer, as well as breast CA. So you really want to stay away from smoking tobacco or vaping tobacco. Consumption of tobacco in any form is very harmful to you. The second thing that we'd like to look at is alcohol. Alcohol has been accused of many things, all right? But it generally does cause cancer. You see, alcohol it's going to accelerate any form of cancer that you might have. If you have cancer of any sort and you continue to take alcohol, it may just accelerate the growth of that cancer. Alcohol alone has also been associated with specific forms of cancer, all right? And of interest, we're talking about liver cancer. So people that take a lot of alcohol are at risk of later developing liver cancer. Now, there is really no safe level of alcohol that has been found that will not give you cancer. So for people that can avoid taking alcohol, please do. If you can reduce your consumption of alcohol, that would be significantly great as far as your fight against cancer is concerned. The third thing that you may have to look out for is chronic stress. Stress in itself will not cause cancer, but if you have a cancer and you are in a state of chronic stress about something, for example, the effect that stress has on the body actually make a conducive environment for cancer cells to replicate. And this happens in this context. You see, when you're stressed, your body goes into a state of inflammation. Inflammation is basically your body being damaged from the inside, okay? So stress contributes to damage of your cells. So when you have that state of inflammation, one, stress will also cause a reduction in your immunity. Now, cancer cells are fought by your immunity. So if your immunity goes down because of chronic stress, the rate at which your cancer will replicate is going to be significantly faster. So this begs the question, how then can we manage that? We need to find ways of combating stress. Sometimes we cannot run away from the stresses that we face in this world. And one of the most effective ways we can do that is exercise, which goes to speak to say people that exercise regularly are at a far lesser risk of actually having cancer in general than those that don't. Another thing that people do, they explore and enjoy nature. What is the fourth thing that can contribute to cancer? Vegetables. Well, not the vegetables themselves, but if you look at where we are now, when you look at the development of agriculture at this point, you're going to agree with me that most people that are growing produce to sell are going to use chemicals that have to enhance the production of these vegetables, or they're going to use pesticides to prevent these vegetables from getting infected by pests. Now, that is not in itself a bad thing, okay? Like, you need that. I mean, they have to make a profit. But it comes at two things. Sometimes when vegetables are being sold at the market, they already have some pesticides on them, okay? Pesticides take time for them to be completely cleared off from a plant before it could be sold, but you never know. So one of the things that you can do every time you buy vegetables is that always remember to wash them thoroughly, no matter how clean they look, because you're not just looking out for dirt, you also want to wash off any pesticides that would be on the surface. But washing is not going to remove any pesticides that would be in within the plant itself. So most farmers would actually always sell after a time when they are sure that those pesticides would be at levels that are not harmful to the human body. So that's something to keep in mind. But that's somebody else making that decision for you. So what can you do yourself? If it is possible for you to invest in organic food, that would be one of the safest ways to actually reduce that possibility. But always remember, most vegetables that are being so that at a commercial level have some level of chemicals applied to them, and some of those chemicals might contain carcinogens. Number 5, how can you prevent cancer? Well, this may sound very obvious, but you can actually prevent it by getting vaccinated and getting regular screening. For example, there are certain cancers that are caused by viruses. So, for example, HPV causes cervical cancer. There are programs, I think, in most countries, even Zambia, where young girls can go for vaccination against HPV and significantly reduce the rate of developing cervical cancer in the future. Another virus that can cause liver cancer is hepatitis B, and there's a vaccine for that. So there are certain viruses that you can get vaccinated for to protect you from specific types of cancer. If you discuss this further with your doctor, there are many other vaccinations that you can get to prevent other forms of cancer. All right. Screening. You see, there are certain cancers that come with age. For example, most elderly women, as they grow, they're going to have cervical cancer, like we've mentioned. They are going to have breast cancer. Most men are going to have prostate cancer. And both men and women are at risk of having colorectal cancer or cancer of their colon or intestines as they grow older. And it is generally acceptable for people to start screening for these cancers early enough, especially for people with a family history of these kinds of cancers. For example, if you know your dad had cervical cancer or your uncle had cervical cancer, as a man, it would be a good habit for you to start getting screened for prostate cancer. Sorry, I'd said cervical cancer. Cervical cancer happens in females and not males. I meant to say prostate cancer instead. So if any of your folks had prostate cancer and you're a man, you may want to start screening for prostate cancer. And it's actually quite easy to do. But even if they didn't, you still have to screen for prostate cancer as a man. Same thing goes for women. They can screen for cervical cancer as well as breast cancer. And then just a special note on testicular cancer. You see, women can actually detect breast cancer earlier by feeling their breasts for any masses. Okay, and then if they feel some, they can go to the doctor for them to have a better look. For women, for men, they have to feel their testicles, see if everything is okay down there and if there are any things that shouldn't be there. So those are the 5 main ways in which you can prevent or reduce the rate at which your cancer grows. Avoid tobacco, avoid alcohol, avoid stress, wash your vegetables, and always remember to get vaccinated and screened for cancer. From Your Health, Your Life, have a good day.